Hello everyone! Before we get properly into today's topic, I just have a small announcement to make. Poe the person, or as she goes by now, Poe's Law, is currently doing a 12-hour gaming session in the name of charity. The charity is Liberty in North Korea and helps defectors who have run away from North Korea to get the protection that they need. Seems like a good charity. I've given money to her already. If you're watching this video, just quickly go over and show your support over there. But for now, to make sure that that isn't a completely wasted shill, I'm going to have to get through the rest of the video quite quickly to make sure it's uploaded in time. So as I'm sure you're all currently aware, Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, signed a deal with Netflix that was confirmed back in October. Though it wasn't entirely obvious what the documentary was going to be about, other than Harry and Meghan, a lot of people were quite worried that it would reflect badly on the royal family, to people who obviously only take Harry and Meghan's side of the story. And so now we have got the trailers for this documentary. And guess what? We're going to go through them. And as I say, we're not wasting any time, so let's get into it.
Why did you want to make this documentary?
I like money.
This is the most obnoxious thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah, as you can see, a lot of the trailer is simply just, here is Harry and Meghan being very happy in very stylish, grey-scaled pictures of them both looking very happy. And it is very obnoxious and very annoying, because you just know what's coming up is going to say, yes, we can't have this anymore because of the royal family. Which makes me want to make sure that Harry and Meghan are deported from the UK for good.
No one sees what's happening behind closed doors.
See what I mean? It's, all these things happening behind closed doors. Here's Meghan being very sad on furniture that probably costs more than I can make in a year, in a very well-kept house with very good hair, basically surrounded by nothing but luxuries. And when you know you've got a cost of living crisis going on around the world, and when you're very aware that poverty is going on worldwide, you really just have to say yes. This is a very obnoxious, self-centered documentary. And it's quite poor form, especially because they said they want to have their own choice of when they're in the public eye. So they left the family let them do that, essentially. And this is the thanks they get. They get the thanks of Harry and Meghan going straight to Netflix for a deal on a documentary, basically to slug off the entire family, when neither of them would probably have anything without it. Oh, so this is the first of quite a few silly things that are in this trailer, let alone the documentary. So this is a picture that is put in the documentary to say, oh my god, look at all the paparazzi going after Harry and Meghan. That is the point of this image. The problem is that here is the original image. And it was a picture taken at the 2011 premiere Trafalgar Square of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. This was 5 years before Harry and Meghan were actually officially together. So it doesn't matter what way you spin it, there is no way that this photo is applicable to what this Netflix documentary is trying to show. And it's not the only time it's done, but don't worry, we'll get there.
I had to do everything I could to protect my family.
No, you did everything you could to get publicity. That is what you are trying to do here. If you're trying to protect your family, and by the way, when he says family, all he means is Meghan and his kids, then he wouldn't be trying to draw the ire of the entire royal family that is still doing royal duties. That would be a silly thing to do if you're trying to protect your family. Because any defamation within this Netflix documentary, I am sure that the royal family will do what they can to seek justice for it, because it's absolutely ridiculous that Harry and Meghan are trying to go this route to get publicity and money. There's already been one big lie within this documentary trailer. Imagine what more there are going to be in the documentary. So even more obnoxious editing from Netflix there, my god. Yes, by the way, I am going to watch this and review it. I am doing it so that you don't have to hate watch it. But this is an image of Harry clearly trying to get the paparazzi to not take a picture of him. The problem is that this image is cropped, and if we look at the uncropped image here, we can see it's actually an image of Harry trying to protect himself from the paparazzi with his ex-girlfriend, Cressida Bonus. Again, if you're going to make a documentary about how your life has been ruined by being a duke and duchess and part of the royal family, and your paparazzi have absolutely ruined the way you can live your life. Number one, don't make a documentary about it. It makes you look a bit of a hypocrite. Number two, make sure that absolutely every bit of imagery you are using is reflecting the reality of that. Because the story you are making falls apart when you actually look into any of these pictures that are showing the paparazzi chasing you. Because it has actually only been a couple of images or clips that are actually reflective of what story they are trying to tell here. So, well done, you've screwed it up.
When the stakes are this high, doesn't it make more sense to hear our story from us?
I mean, look, I'm always happy to hear both sides of a story, but the problem is that when presented with the reasons to see one side of the story and that thing alone is full of lies, yeah, I am not going to give you any sympathy or benefit of doubt. Anyway, there was a second trailer, let's go straight into it.
It's really hard to look back on it now and go, what on earth happened?
Oh, that answer's easy. You didn't like the fact that you had royal duties, or at least Meghan didn't. I can only imagine that you will have been used to it. And then Meghan seemed to give you an out to have a bit more freedom. So you both took it, you both disappointed your family with it, and now to make up for that, you're going to make them seem like the worst family in the world. Hence, your popularity is rapidly decreasing.
You hear that? That is the sound of hearts breaking all around the world.
She's becoming a royal rock star.
See, this image alone undermines absolutely everything that this Netflix documentary is trying to say, that, oh, there was a plan to destroy Meghan, oh, no one liked Meghan. No, everyone liked Meghan. Everyone accepted her. The royal family treated her the same way as Kate until she started breaking royal protocols. Because as a royal, you have protocols to follow, as everyone else does, to follow those royal protocols when in the presence of said royals. Things like curtsying, bowing, things like that. And just to be frank, she started being a bit of a bitch about it. Hence, the unpopularity started to settle in. It wasn't because people rejected her, it is because they started accepting her and she wouldn't do what was expected for that acceptance.
And then...
See, absolutely everything changed. Do you know why? It's because she tried to Americanise the most British institution that there is, and no one was going to take that lying down.
Everything changed. There's a hierarchy of the family.
I didn't know that. You're telling me now for the first time.
Harry, every family has a hierarchy. Especially, though, a family with a line of succession to be head of state for one of the biggest countries in the world. Like, yes, you are an accident of birth, but for God's sake, man, let's not pretend that hierarchy doesn't exist in every family.
You know, there's leaking, but there's also planting of stories.
Well, I can imagine that. It's a bit of a two-way street with the media and the royal family to get exclusive access to the royal family and to take pictures of them, interviews of them, things like that. You know, there needs to be a bit giving back. However, we have yet another silly moment. This is an image supposed to be showing Harry and Meghan being followed by the paparazzi. Yet again, trying to tell the story that, oh look, they can't go anywhere without being followed and having pictures taken of them. There is a war against them from the media. Anyway, according to this tweet from Robert Jobson, who is a royal editor for the Evening Standard, he said this photograph used by Netflix and Harry and Meghan to suggest intrusion by the press is complete travesty. It was taken from an accredited pool at Archbishop Tutu's residence in Cape Town. Only 3 people were in the accredited position. Harry and Meghan agreed to the position. I was there. In other words, yes, this is someone that Harry and Meghan agreed to have taking pictures of them. This isn't just some random stalker trying to take pictures of them. Again, just another complete lie that is undermining their story.
There was a war against Meghan to suit other people's agendas.
Just for context, that is Meghan Markle's lawyer, called Jenny Afia. If you want to look into her, you can. I'm not going to bother, because she is Meghan Markle's lawyer. Of course, she's going to try and make the case that Meghan Markle has been absolutely devastated by the family, because it's the way that she's going to make money.
It's about hatred. It's about race.
For those wondering who this guy is who turns up for half a second in the clip and claims it's all about race, this is Christopher Boozy, who is a tech entrepreneur from America and ally of Meghan Markle. Obviously, that's why he's in this. And his company has previously done research into the trolling and harassment of Meghan Markle, and so he highlights that there has been racism and other derogatory comments made about her online. It's also been noted that he wrote in the past, "I'm sorry, but Prince William isn't sexy." That is quarantine thirst talking. William looks like a bawling muppet. So I think the funniest part is that according to his research, he revealed that 83 accounts were responsible for about 70% of the abuse Harry and Meghan received on Twitter. Just to put that in perspective, that is absolutely... I nearly swore. That is absolutely nothing compared to the abuse that a lot of other people get. And this guy's a rich and famous guy, completely criticising William and Kate for looking a bit ugly, in his opinion. And in my mind, I just think, well, if it's 83 accounts, are they anonymous? Are they big? Who really cares? What he said about Will and Kate, I will say, is worse than probably anything those accounts said about Harry and Meghan. I'm just going to throw that out there. But yeah, this guy just seems like your typical blacktivist, basically. But he's a ally of Meghan Markle, so that's why he's probably in it. I mean, in the documentary, there might be more context as to why he's there, but you're going to have to wait and see for that.
It's a dirty game.
I'm sorry, but I don't think the royal family have done anything as dirty as this. I reckon that line is complete cope, because he knows what he is doing is wrong.
Pain and suffering of women marrying into this institution, this feeding frenzy.
It's strange to me that he'd use Princess Diana as an example of that, because Princess Diana was basically loved by the entirety of the UK, or at least the media would have you believe that. So trying to say that this is an example of how the media can destroy someone, I think, or the family can destroy someone, I think Charles and Diana's issues were a lot more personal than due to the rest of the royal family.
I realized they're never going to protect you.
I was terrified. I didn't want history to repeat itself.
I mean, yeah, I get that Princess Diana will have had issues, and I get that he'd want to protect Meghan from that. So why let her put herself back in the spotlight like this? Anyway, here's another crazy clip in the trailer. Yes, this is once again trying to say, oh, look at these paparazzi following Meghan and Harry around. This one had absolutely nothing to do with them, by the way. As much as the Harry Potter one had to do with them. This is paparazzi at the Katie Price sentencing in 2021. Meghan and Harry weren't present at this. Again, there is probably thousands of clips of paparazzi following the Duke and Duchess of Sussex around. Why do you have to lie like this? It was not that hard for me to find this clip that you're seeing on screen now of when Kate wasn't a princess at the time, but was girlfriend to Prince William. There could be no royal security or guard on Princess Kate, or just Catherine Middleton as she was known at the time, as she wasn't officially a royal yet, so the paparazzi could just go ham on her, basically, as you can see there, and there was nothing she could do about it, unfortunately. And that was easy for me to find. That took 2 seconds of Googling, so why are Netflix being so lazy? I don't know. But anyway, that's the end of the trailers. Next time you see anything to do with that, I do hope it is my video covering the actual documentary. As I say, I will cover it, go through the lies and mistakes made in the documentary, and that is all because I don't want you to go and hate watch it. Palace must reject Harry and Meghan lies, says former aide. Ex-employee calls for non-disclosure agreement to be lifted over Netflix series as couple receive human rights awards. Well, good for them, what can I say? But yes, the Palace must reject any lies made within this documentary. A former Buckingham Palace employee who claims they were bullied by the Duchess of Sussex has called on the Palace to hit back at the allegations that are expected to be made in the Sussex, I think I got that wrong, but whatever, Netflix series Harry and Meghan. Former employee, who is one of many members of staff bound by a confidentiality agreement, said, "The only way to end it once for good is for us to be allowed to speak, and for the Palace to firmly reject their lies. The 6-part documentary series, 6-part, I might not do the whole thing, which is released in part tomorrow, contains serious allegations against the royal household, including claims that the Palace leaked and planted stories." I mean, in the good old days, King Charles would probably have the right just to take his son and throw him in a prison until he learns better. Unfortunately, we're in a more civilised age today, so yes, the secrets of the Palace might have to get out to quench Harry and Meghan's lies. There are also claims highlighted in a trailer that was released earlier this week that the attacks on the Duchess were motivated by racism. Well, we've just gone through that, and as we can see, it was done by a blacktivist. Some Palace insiders were seething with rage at the allegations, according to one source. However, one unanswered question is how the documentary will address the allegations, first reported in the Times, that the Duchess bullied members of staff. A review of allegations was conducted by an independent law firm, but Buckingham Palace refused to publish the results. The Sussexes have denied any allegations that the Duchess bullied staff. The Duke and Duchess were feted last night at an award ceremony in New York for taking a heroic stance against structural racism in the monarchy. Just play the race card. That's all they have to do. Meghan's mixed race, for God's sake. It just gets a lot more complicated knowing that fact. Because everyone goes on about, oh, it's anti-black racism, it's anti-black racism. But these always get very murky when it's a mixed race person. It happens every other time. You know, there are some black groups that see it as taking away people's blackness, quote unquote, if you are mixed race. Yet for some reason it's always pointed out that Meghan is black, Meghan is black. She's not black, she's mixed race, for God's sake. Now, does that mean you can't be racist to her? No, obviously it doesn't. What it does mean is that shouting that this is anti-black racism doesn't hold much water by critical race theory's own standards. Anyway, there's a lot of tabloid-esque paragraphs in this article, so I'm just going to skip all that and go right to the juicy bit. Other former employees who worked with the Sussexes have also questioned the narrative being pushed by Netflix. One pointed to the scene of frenzied media activity in the trailer that have been revealed as relating to Katie Price rather than the Duke and Duchess. They said she never confronted scenes where she was mobbed because we did so much to protect her, so they've had to make them up. That included a statement released shortly after she was revealed as Harry's girlfriend, in which the palace made robust criticisms of media harassment, as well as legal complaints and complaints to the media watchdog IPSO. So, every single claim that the Crown was against Harry and Meghan was completely wrong. They did everything they could to be on their side. The source added that coverage of Meghan was so overwhelmingly positive until her father Thomas Markle, who failed to attend the couple's wedding after colluding with fake paparazzi photographs, started turning the media narrative against her. It will be interesting to see how her own family is referenced in the movie. It was a glowing coverage until her own father started his campaign. Which is probably true. You never hear anything from the royal family against Harry and Meghan. Even when they were in that Oprah Winfrey interview and claimed that one of the family was racist, all the Crown said was, recollections may vary. They didn't even call them liars, they just said, that's not quite how we remember it. They are treading on eggshells not to annoy them, and this is the thanks they get. Just a complete lie of a Netflix documentary that's 6 parts, and I really shouldn't have said I'm going to cover them all, but I'll do my best, people. And I think the worst part about it is that part 1's obviously out tomorrow, and part 2's out in a week on the 15th of December, which is when the Princess of Wales is going to be doing a Together at Christmas carol service on the same day that the second part of the Netflix documentary is out. It just shows how little respect Netflix and Harry and Meghan have for the rest of the royal family, which is why everyone in the UK is now against them. Meghan Markle is the least popular royal, apart from maybe Andrew. I can't be bothered checking properly, but she is deeply, deeply unpopular. And rightly so, because there is only so much lying I can tolerate, and from Harry and Meghan, they've gone beyond the pale. I mean, I used to say, Harry's clearly just being manipulated by Meghan, but there's only so far that cope goes. No, Harry is now a malicious actor in this. There's no way around it. So there you go, royal family under attack once again from Harry and Meghan. What else did you expect from a documentary about them? I will certainly be watching it myself. When I go through it, I can only imagine I will pick out the juiciest bits of gossip to point out where they are lying or how they are being completely and utterly stupid. Knowing my luck, that will be absolutely every minute of each part. But hey, I enjoy doing things like this, so yeah, you're in luck. I hope it'll bring you more entertainment than it will bring me. But anyway, that's everything I had for you at the moment. I'm about to go over and be on Poe the Person's channel while she plays Resident Evil 4. Hopefully I am still there by the time this video is out and you can catch me over there. And if not, well, you can always watch the repeat and give money to charity on your own. Anyway, that's everything I had for you for today. So as usual, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.